Hi there, it's Connie-Rae. Welcome to ConnieRae'sCraftRoom.com. Today's craft share is going to be this cute little reindeer box, which is a treat box or a gift box, whichever way you want to look at it. And it is a shaker as well. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? And it's a great size. You can put lots of things in there. So I'll show you how to get on and make this one. Really cute. Okay, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 8.5 in length and 5.5 in width. And I have gone and done some preparation so that it's not too confusing. I used cherry cobbler, but I've done this in Whisper White, or actually I think it's very vanilla, just to give you a bit of a guideline as to what we're doing. So you've got your 8.5 by 5.5. You're going to score at 8 on the 8.5 side, and you're going to score at, let me get the scoreboard in, that way it's easier to show you. So on the 8.5 side, you're going to be scoring at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 4.5 inches, and 6 inches. Oops, sorry guys, I think I just went out of focus then. And then on the 5.5 side, you're going to be scoring at 1.5 and 4. That's your scoring. I have used cherry cobbler, and I have got, this is just the example. So cherry cobbler, we're using cherry cobbler designer series reindeer paper from the Be Merry designer series paper out of the annual catalogue, so you do want to use cherry cobbler, but I've done this one just as an example. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to remove that square there. There's a little tiny square here which fills that area there, and this square here, and you're going to remove those two, and then you're going to cut down, sorry, you're just going to remove those two, and you're going to end up with a little lid and a piece of paper that's basically going to be looking like that. So you, oh, sorry, my focus is, okay, there we go. You've removed that little corners that I've suggested there, and then you cut down here, cut there, and you cut there, and bring it down to make the top flaps of the actual box that we're going to fold in. So the top tabs. Then halfway down the box, you're going to be going into the 2 smaller square pieces, and you're going to be cutting in and notching the way that I have there, which is exactly like that. So the rest of it is all box. So hopefully that makes sense. I can probably do it just to give you an example of what it should look like. So you remove that little panel there, you remove this little panel here, cut down into this piece here, cut down into this piece here, just a slight little notch in that way, and a slight little notch in that way, just so it doesn't look too bad. And then down here, again, we're going to be going in on the little squares. The rest are oblongs, so it's only the squares that we're going to be altering. These ones, these notches on the sides of these ones can be quite large because we don't want them to be too bulky. Turn it around and do the other side again. That square, and notch out a good chunk so it's not too bulky. And that's basically your cutout position. So that's what your box should look like at this stage. Let me just get this out of the way. Once you've cut all the bits and pieces out. So you've cut the squares basically. So you've now got those bits. All right, the next thing you can do is round the top of the lid with the corner rounder, just to round off and give it a round edge. And then turn your box over. But before you do anything, we're going to decorate the box. So you can probably, what we might do is just score and burnish the lines just to make it a bit easier. There we go. drag you back out a bit so you can see. And vanish and sort these ones down. Okay, so your box should be looking like that, and it's all nice and burnished. So now we're going to decorate the box, and what we're going to do is we're going to put some designer series paper on the box. Our designer series paper is, as I suggested, it is the Be Merry designer series paper from the annual catalogue. You will need, for the designer series paper, 2 pieces of at 2 3/8 by 2 3/8 for the top panel and the bottom panel. So that's 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. And then you will also need 3 pieces of panels, which is 2 3/8 by 1 3/8, which is 1, 2, and 3. And they measure, as I said, 2 3/8 by 1 3/8. Then you just got to make sure that you're cutting the paper the direction of the reindeers. Now, I have done several boxes that haven't worked because I haven't paid attention to the actual direction of my reindeers. So I've had to do it a few times. Not happy. But anyway, I have done it. So that's what we do. So we've got 3 panels that are 2 3/8 by 1 3/8, and we've got 2 panels that are 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. Then you're going to have to cut a square, a circle, which equals 2 inches in diameter in the top square panel. So you'll end up with a box that's basically looking like that. So hopefully you're okay with that and you're on board with that. And of course you can pause at any time. Now make sure when you're sticking down your designer series paper that your reindeer's feet on the top half of the box are facing down this way. And on the bottom half of the box, the reindeer's feet are facing up that way. Because when you pull the box together, you want your reindeer, the back of the box, the reindeers are going to be standing up, and the front of the box, the reindeers are going to be standing up along with the top and the sides. So if you can see, I haven't glued it together just yet, but as you can see, the reindeers, let me just see if I can bring the reindeers in. There we go. Look. Okay, look. Not working, but that's okay. All right, the reindeers are basically, well, you can see there, the reindeers are actually facing down that way. On this side panel, they're facing down that way. On the top panel, they're facing down that way. So they're all in sync. They're all running down towards the bottom, but when you stick it down, you have to have them looking, the bottom one facing the opposite to the top. That's basically it. And of course, if you don't use the reindeers, if you use another color that doesn't have directions of animals or whatever, you don't have to worry about it really. It's just because the reindeer's feet are actually predominant in this box. And I didn't realize that until after. I just thought, oh, I'm going to do a little reindeer box, and then realized what I was doing. I thought, oh, hang on, the legs, they're facing the wrong way. Okay, so basically your box now is ready to do the centerpiece, which is the shaker component. So we'll just pop this aside. And you need to have a square, and I haven't got a square piece, 2 inches by 2 inches. So I'll just quickly cut a piece of 2-inch cardstock. We've got 2 inches. No, that's not right. That's too small. Yes, that's way too small. Hang on, I've got the wrong size on that. 2 inch for the circle frame, and we've got, what is it going to be? I've got my notes here and I've scribbled them all over. I thought it was 2 by 2. 2 3. No, it should be 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. Gosh. Okay, now I've got it. Sorry, folks. Just lost my bearings there for a bit. 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, because it's got to basically be the size of the actual box itself, the window. So when we turn it over and make up the shaker card, we're putting that panel over it. So, right, okay. So that little square piece has to be 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. That's where I was making a mistake. And I did cut it out. Gosh, I'm a duffer. And I have prepped it. See, I've out-organised myself, which is not uncommon for me. Okay, so we want to do some embossing. And I want to emboss this little guy here. So we need to put our 2 3/8 by 2 3/8 piece of cherry cobbler down. Sorry, all fingers and thumbs and tongues today. And we're just going to do a little bit of our embossing buddy to make sure that our reindeer doesn't get all caught up. And grab some Versamark. You're only using the top half of the actual... Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm just fighting off a flu at the moment. That's why I haven't uploaded for some time. And I've still got the remnants of it, and it's just driving me crazy. I want it to be gone. So you can stamp up with the Versamark most of the reindeer if you want. You just need to wipe off your edges here. But we're just going to pop our reindeer down. Make sure we get a nice imprint of him. I just like to do a little bit of a double up there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we'll just get that out of the way. Turn on our gun to get it hot. Move that out of the way. And while the gun's heating up, we'll just put some embossing powder on our little reindeer. So we've got a nicely embossed little reindeer. Just get that out of the way. And just bring in our little brush just to clean up our embossed image. If there is anything that you need to clean up, just to get him off a nice and clean image. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so we're just going to, the heat gun should be nice and hot by now. So I'm just going to come in and emboss him. Try not to burn my fingers off. There we go, he's nice and shiny. Just trying to get that end bit done. It's burning my fingers, so I'm trying not to burn my fingers off. Yep, he looks all right. Lovely. All right, so he's nice and shiny, which is the look that you want. You want him nice and crisp and white and shiny. So he looks pretty good, doesn't he? There we go. Okay. All right. So the next piece we're going to do is we're going to bring your box back. Oh, that paper's all sprinkled up now. I'm just going to remove that piece of paper because that will drive me crazy. I don't know about you guys, but that sort of thing drives me crazy. Okay, so bringing back your box, what we're going to do is we're going to pop in a little window that I have got here. You can use acetate, a square piece of acetate, which measures 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, which is the same size as this. But I've got a little circle shaker pouch, which is from My Favorite Things, and it's just a circle, a round circle pouch that goes in, and you can put your shaker things in there. Stampin'Up used to have the treat cups, and I loved the treat cups. I wish they'd bring them back because they were so fun. You could put lots of things in them. You could put lollies in them. You could do lots of things. But these ones from My Favorite Things aren't quite as deep as the treat cups, but they do make good shaker cards per se, so they're okay for that. But I did love the treat cups. They were fun. They had a heart version as well. They were really good. I loved them. All right, so I'm just going to put some glue dots just around the lip of this, just to make sure that it will stick in my window. And probably about 3. I wouldn't think you need any more. If you're using acetate, you can do exactly the same thing, because you won't see the acetate. Just like you won't see this. Actually, I might put 4 in. And evenly placed 4. So we just put 4 in on the lip there. There we go. And we're just going to pop that down into the circle. So you've got that nice little window there. And you would do exactly the same thing with your acetate. It's not any different. It's just that I've got a round circle. Even if you put a square in there, it's not going to change anything. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some embellishments in. I've got some little stars here, which are, I'm not even sure, I got them from the junk shop basically. But they're little crystal kind of looking stars, but they look lovely because they don't dominate the actual window either. They kind of blend quite nicely in with the imaging, because you've got a really strong cherry cobbler and white, so these blend in beautifully. So they're just little tiny stars. Okay, and the next thing you're going to need is just got a little star there that's stuck to the glue dot. Okay, there we go. All right, so then we're going to grab our little reindeer, and we are going to get our foam piece that we have with Stampin' Up. You can use any foam covering, and we are going to pop this down on this part here. But because we're popping it down and we're sealing off, we're going to be putting the tape. Oh, actually, we can put it around here maybe. That might be easier. Yeah, we'll do it that way. No, I might do it this way. Can't remember how I did it in the other one. But I'll do it this way to make sure that it's all sealed. Just run it around the square of the image that you're putting in there. And if you're not using a reindeer, you can use whatever image you like, really. Doesn't really change. It still is going to be very nice. A nice gift box. So I just need a little piece to go into here because it's kind of, sorry guys, I hope you can see that. There we go. Okay, so because we're going to pop this on top now of the window, okay. And because it's the same size as the square that it's going onto, it shouldn't be too hard to place at all. There you go. So as you can see, there's a little reindeer shaker box. Isn't it cute? Okay, so we're going to glue the box together now, and it comes together in this fashion. I'll stick these in there, stick that in there as well. So we'll stick these down first. I'll do it as we speak. Look. Look. I'm having a, what do they call it? The was going to say a senior moment, but it's not a senior moment at all. It's a past fuse moment. There we go. And the same on this side, just onto the little glue flaps first. And we're just going to stand that up. And we're just going to stand that one up and glue it down so that you've got the little one. Just went a little bit too far over. Ooh, lucky. Okay, there we go. So you've made that component, and then we put some glue on this side, and then we're going to pop that in just like that. So it comes together beautifully. So we'll just glue these sides. To bring the sides up just nice and evenly. And there's your box, which looks pretty cute, I think. Now, if there's a couple of things, other things that you can do here too. If you don't like the look of the tape there, which you can see, which is the shaker window per se, just grab your cherry cobbler alcohol marker, which is what I did, and I just ran across the edge of the white with the cherry cobbler alcohol marker, just so it disappears from view when you open the box and it's not as predominant. So that's one thing that you can do, and seal it off. And the other thing was to put on a embellishment, which is going to be using one of these, and I think, well, I might use some fast fuse actually. Just to pop it on like that, and there you go. Well, that has taken me a few turns to get that right tonight. I can assure you I haven't uploaded for a while. I'm a bit rusty. So thank you for your patience and thanks for bearing with me. I hope this all makes sense. I will have all the description details down the bottom of the YouTube links down the bottom, and it will have all the descriptions, the links to go in and purchase all the items that you need to do this project, plus explanations of everything. And I'll also have it on my blog at some point too, probably not tonight but maybe tomorrow. Other than that, I'll put the dimensions on the blog definitely, and I'll put them in the description box below. So if you liked this project, please do like, share and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you soon for another tutorial that is just as cute and very Christmassy. So thanks for stopping by. Take care, and I will see you for a new tutorial shortly. Thank you.